Hello beautiful beings and welcome back to my channel Soul Journey. My name is Beck and today we are back with the weekly tarot readings for the collective. I know I haven't done them in a couple months. I know a lot of you are really liking them. I don't know, I was just not in the space to do them. Lots was going on, but they are back and I'm super excited. So definitely comment down below if you missed the readings, if you really would like me to continue doing them. I was getting a lot of good feedback, but definitely comment down below. Let me know. All right, so I've already pulled all the cards. There are a ton of cards. We're going to get into some juicy stuff today because, well, we haven't done a reading in a while. So for those of you who have not watched one of my readings for the collective, I used to do them weekly at the end of the week so that we could kind of like ruminate on it. So going into the next week with more awareness and clarity for what the collective consciousness is dealing with on the planet right now. I don't know the date. It is October 18th, 2019. So that is what today's reading will be for the week coming. Today is Friday. Things have been kind of cray-cray. So all right, I have now added an extra deck that I'm super excited to work with. If you're interested in looking at that deck further, I will be posting a review of that deck tomorrow. So definitely subscribe or stay tuned if you already are for that deck reveal. All right, so today we are using the 8 Coins Tattoo Tarot, the Soulful Woman Guidance cards, the Vintage Wisdom Oracle. A lot of you who've been watching the readings are familiar with these decks, and the new deck that I'm super excited to be working with, and we'll see how it kind of plays in today's reading, is the Blind Spot Oracle cards by Teal Swan. Super excited. This deck is not online for purchase yet. You can only get it at her workshops, and that's where I got it. So definitely stay tuned to check out that deck and stay tuned for when it's released. All right, let's get into it. So the collective energy theme for this week, and as you know, if you've seen my readings before, all the cards are face down until I show them to you. So I am discovering them along with you. So here we go. This week's theme is surrender. Beautiful. So this week we're really going to be working with the energy of surrendering into the flow, surrendering into what we know, surrendering into possibly the things that have been pushing on us for a while and we've been resisting. This is what we're going to be looking at, surrendering into what we know needs to happen. Now, I'm excited to work with these blind spot cards. So they have sigils on them. And basically they show us the blind spot of whatever we're working on and what we're kind of missing. So around surrender, our blind spot is number 7. And these sigils were channeled by Teal Swan, so it's really exciting. So let's see what 7 is. Got a little book here. Oh, have you guys seen? They're doing a live action Lady and the Tramp. Blech. Are you guys excited about that? I'm not sure how I feel. Okay, meaning. Interesting. If you have drawn this sigil, you have assigned a meaning to this situation or an experience that is part of this situation. That is not the actual meaning of the experience or situation. People search for a way of interpreting the implication of every experience in their lives. Seeking out the meaning of experiences is an advanced form. Seeking out the meaning of experiences is an advanced form of consciousness, but as we know all too well, there are pitfalls to advancement. The ability to determine meaning is both something that sets our species apart as an evolved and rapidly expanding facet of consciousness, as well as what causes us to self-destruct. The quality of our experience is flavored by one thing, and that is the meaning of what we assign to the experience. It is critical to recognize that there is a difference between what actually happens and meaning of what happens. We must see that meaning does not inherently exist in the world in and of itself. Therefore, meaning does not inherently exist in a situation. It is an interpretation, and it is best not to confuse interpretation with truth. If meaning does not inherently exist in an experience, we must and do assign it to the experience. What does that mean? If meaning does not inherently exist in an experience, we must and do assign it to the experience, and then we mistake the event and the meaning of the event for the same thing. You can destroy your whole life based on the meaning you assign to an event. For example, imagine that a little girl asks her dad to play dolls at 3 years old and he is on the phone. He yells at her to stop bugging him. This is a traumatic experience for her at 3 years old. She takes it personally. Now let's pretend the meaning she assigns to this event is, I am insignificant to dad. That was not the meaning of the experience of the event for the father. The meaning for the father was, I am busy right now. But the moment that the little girl assigns that meaning to the event, it is as if a colored lens comes over her eyes. From that moment on, all things that happen between her and her father are filtered through the colored lens. If you have drawn this sigil, the painful meaning you assigned to this situation or an experience that is part of this situation was never the actual meaning of the situation or experience. What you must consider is that you've been punishing people or avoiding them for a meaning that you yourself assigned to that experience with them. What you must consider is that much of the pain you are experiencing in this situation is not because of what you actually experienced, but because of the meaning you've assigned to the experience. Ask yourself, what am I making this mean? Then question that meaning so that you can discern the difference between what is actually happening and what you think the meaning of the experience is. Okay, so I kind of shortened it down a little bit, but what I'm feeling like the blind spot around this is around surrender, that we have determined what the outcome is going to be. We've determined what surrender has to look at. Maybe we feel like surrendering into the flow means that it's going to be painful. Maybe we've decided that it means that we're going to lose a part of ourselves or the people around us. So be aware of the fact that you may not know what the outcome of surrender is actually going to look like. And we've determined that that means, that we have to lose something or that we have to change our lives completely. That might not be inherently accurate. Now, it might be true, but not necessarily. So start looking at at your belief systems around the idea of surrender. Okay, what's going to assist us with this is harmony and intuition. Interesting. So I feel like a lot of us have intuition on what our lives would look like if we really let happen what we want to have happen, or what we feel should be happening. And that's going to create a harmony in this space. We need to start exploring intuitively what harmony means in our lives and what would allow for that, and really start stepping into our centers when it comes to that, because oftentimes we get up in our mind about what that will mean or look like, and that can often cause a lot of hectic energy. What's going to hinder us, or the shadow aspect, is gratitude. Interesting. So I really feel like we do have a lot of story around, what's really going to feel good to us, what's going to feel bad to us. And oftentimes I feel like when we don't allow for surrender, there's a belief that we're going to be surrendering into something that's not going to feel good. And so what's going to hinder us is not having gratitude around the shift of energy, not having gratitude for the shift into a new space. So be aware of that. Also, if you like my shirt, you can check it out on my Etsy shop. All right, now let's get into the tarot. So our main energy for today having to do with surrender is the moon in reverse. Interesting, okay. And 7 of Cups. Wow, this is really interesting. This is the main energy for another reading I did the other day. Fascinating. All right, so what I feel like this is saying is our main energy around this is that we fear going into surrender because we are not aware of what that's going to look like. Again, the blind spot is we have created a meaning around what surrender means, right? So the moon in reverse is about things being in shadow, not being aware of what's going to happen next. And then Seven of Cups is about imagination and making up stories and kind of having your head in the clouds. So right now, what's really causing us to not step into a space of acceptance and surrender is the fear of the unknown. Or even more so, the story we've created about the unknown. It's interesting. Teal was talking about the unknown. There's nothing scary about the unknown because it's just unknown. Like, what we really fear is the story we have around the unknown. So be aware of that distinction. What's going to help us with this is Three of Swords in reverse. Interesting. So I feel like a lot of us are fearing surrendering into our emotions, surrendering into the pain, surrendering into the things that really need healing. There can be a lot of story, again, about what that will mean and look like. And oftentimes we definitely fear it a lot more than the actual experience of it. And so it's often the thing that's the most painful is our story around what's happening. So again, step into your intuition, step into your inner knowing to guide you through that instead of getting stuck in the story. All right, what's going to hinder us is Two of Coins. Interesting. I'm getting the word rational. I'm feeling like what's going to hinder us is being too rational about what we need to focus on. Focusing on what we need, like being too caught up in being like, this needs to be balanced. I need to focus on this and then this instead of surrendering into what's coming up. Being a little too balanced about things, I think, because I think sometimes in a shadow aspect, balance can often not really let yourself dive fully into an experience. If you're trying to keep your equilibrium too much, it can often hinder you fully coming into the space with yourself. All right, so the main energy for these cards is Ten of Cups in reverse. Whoa. And then a lot of reverse cards today. And Death. Well, there's that. Isn't that such a beautiful card, though? Oh, yummy. Okay, I love the Death card. I'm not getting the lie. So, again, there feels like there's a lot of emotional turmoil. And I feel like that's coming from the fact that we're not allowing like ourselves to surrender into what's happening and surrender into this new phase, this new space. And what's causing us to feel a lot of turmoil is we feel like we're going through a death. The surrender could feel like a death. It could feel like something is being taken away from us. But again, I feel like that really is coming into this idea of like the meaning we're putting around the death. That we feel that this letting go of a certain aspect of ourselves means that we're going to lose ourselves instead of just letting it pass through, let it release as it needs to. So we're feeling a lot of turmoil around this transition. All right, so Spirit wants us to look at, wow, a lot of these cards are in reverse. This is really powerful. Seven of Wands. So I feel like we're really not like letting ourselves get centered into our heart. We're not understanding the strength of our inner intuition and our heart space. And so be aware of the fact that we're not trusting the power of our intuition. The next card is Queen of Wands. Okay, so kind of in the same vein, we need to understand our true power and our true direction and path, and understanding that we are whole and complete within ourselves and we have worth. And surrendering into our true path isn't going to make us lose ourselves, but rather help us feel more empowered and centered within our own power and self. And the last card here is Temperance in reverse. Okay, so kind of going back into that, we're not letting ourselves transmute our space now into what it needs to be. There's a lot of resistance into the shifting of like water into wine or metal into gold, whatever it is. We're not letting ourselves transform because of the stories we have around what that will mean for us. All right, and the last cards we have is self-belief. Self-belief is the magic key that opens up a better, more inspired future for me. Okay, so again, trusting in our inner intuition, trusting in our inner knowing, trusting in our strength. And the last card here is the unknown. Wow. There it is. I bow to the infinite intelligence of the cosmos, and my next steps are revealed. Well, I think that's pretty obvious. So this unknown space is really freaking us out, but we need to step into our self-knowing and trust the journey and release the story or meaning we have around it and really just let it happen, because ultimately it's going to be an amazing, beautiful, open, and expansive experience. But we so fear letting go of our self-concept that we have now, that we are not letting ourselves surrender into this next phase. All right, guys, that is the message for this week of October 18th, coming into, this is Friday, coming into Sunday, and the next week. Comment down below if this resonates for you. And yeah, give this a like or share it with someone you feel could use it. And hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I am going to try to do my weekly readings again. And definitely, if I get a lot of comments saying that this was awesome, I will definitely get on that. If you would like a personal reading with me, you can head down to my description to my Etsy shop, where I do personal readings with people along with my other merch and things like that. And my other social media links are in the description down below if you would like to follow me there as well. So definitely hit subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post a video. Thank you so much for watching. It's great to be back doing these readings. You guys are beautiful. You're amazing. Many blessings. Namaste. And don't forget, it is all about the soul journey. Bye.